I am really excited, as always, about this next video because it has literally been a game changer for even me. So I have a sweet tooth. I share that with y'all on a regular basis, and I really truthfully feel like it's because I was kind of raised eating a lot of sugar and being allowed to eat a lot of sugar. So it's hard for me to stop that now. So cravings are something that I definitely battle with. And since I had this aha moment, it has gotten so much easier for me. So I'm really excited to share this with you. It is, of course, a mindset tip and trick for helping ourselves overcome cravings. And the first kind of part about this is I want you to accept and know that you are now stepping into a higher version of yourself, meaning that you don't want to operate at the level of junk food. I want you to really switch that vocabulary in your head when you see things such as cupcakes and those kind of things. I don't want you to think about it being something that, oh my gosh, I want it so bad and I can't have it. I want you to look at it as it's something that isn't horrible, but I am now somebody who is operating at a higher level. I'm literally more valuable. I am more important. I need better value in my life so I can give better value than to others. I need energy that is really and truthfully quality. I need to be able to operate at my best. I want to feel my best. And I'm really and truthfully in a place that I'm higher than that cupcake or that piece of ice cream or cake or whatever it is. Now, of course, I'm still not saying that I want you to, not enjoy holidays with those kind of things and do it here and there. But in the moment, I want you to be able to feel that way and literally feel proud about not being deprived, but just literally, I'm at a higher level than that. Just like somebody who I'm trying to think of an example, somebody who would be happy that they were in their older car and they were thankful for it, that it got them to one place to the other. But now they're a professional. They graduated from college or they did whatever it is they needed to do. They got that job, that raise and that promotion at work. And now they need something that's going to get us, or a suit. A suit would be a better example. Like you're going from kind of a regular outfit that you'd wear at work, but now you're one of the executives. So you have to go to work in a suit. And I want you to look at it kind of like that and look back on that time. You look back on that time that you were growing and it wasn't a bad time and you don't hate it, but you've now stepped into a higher sense of self. Okay, so that's enough explaining that. I hope that kind of made some sense for you. But really meditate on it and know that I'm better than that, right? And the second part of this, okay, so that was part one. Part two, your second step on this is I want you to go through your hierarchy of needs because it really and truthfully hit me. No matter what we're doing as far as our cravings go, whenever we're fulfilling those cravings and we're giving into them, it's some need that we are fulfilling. We are always needing to fulfill something, one of the needs that we have. And Maslow's hierarchy of needs is something that, if you're watching this, most of you are a healthcare provider and you kind of are familiar with this. And it's really and truthfully our place in the world and where it is that we get our happiness from, our fulfillment from. And the higher up we go on the triangle, the more kind of in-depth they are. So I have a handout for you, kind of a Canva illustration to show you so you can follow along with that. But essentially, physiological is at the bottom. So if you're eating something, it's a craving, you're doing anything in life, truthfully, but this applies to eating. It has a physiological basis to it. You're either breathing, you need the oxygen, you need the literal energy from food, you need being able to drink water, those kind of things. Your physiological needs to just literally sustain having a life that works, that is a body that's working, correct? So that's kind of the bottom rung. Sometimes we are literally just eating for physiological needs. I'm starving. I really truthfully need to eat. Okay. So something like that. That's a physiological need. If we're eating for that reason, it's a good thing, right? We need to eat for those reasons. The next one is safety. So we may be motivated in life to do something based upon feeling our need of safety to be upheld. And that's something that's important to us. It could be security of body, employment, so a job, morality, family being around us, like kind of like the whole herd thing. So that's where safety can come into place. And sometimes we might actually be eating for safety, and that isn't necessarily always a bad thing also, correct? I mean, we need to make sure that we are keeping that form of our life in check. And if it's truly to keep us safe, to keep us healthy, those kind of things, then again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's really a pretty good thing, especially if we're thinking about I need to eat for strength and so I can be stronger, so I can do more things in life. Then that's another good one. That's another one that's actually really good for us to eat based upon that. I need to be safer, stronger. I need to be better willed in life. I need to, maybe it's, we're eating so we can live a cancer-free life. That's keeping us safe. So eating for safety can be a really good thing. Love and belonging. So this is one where it could be good or it can be it can be a little bit too much. So love and belonging, we have friendships, family, intimacy with people in different ways, and we may be motivated to do something, anything, based upon fulfilling those needs. Those are needs in our life that we truthfully need, and it is truthfully something that we need. They've done horrible experiments where they've kept like monkeys and stuff completely isolated, or they know were children that were completely isolated and were severely abused as children, had a horrible failure to thrive. Some of them even died just from the isolation alone. So love and belonging is a very important part of ours, the third rung up on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it is a very important one. We might be eating based upon that. So that would look something along the lines of we're at a party and everyone's kind of eating the chip and dip. So you're standing around, you're eating the chip dip with them. That's fun. It's kind of nostalgic to be kind of eating a little bit mindlessly and not worrying about it. And I really and truthfully believe that in moderation, that's actually a good thing. That's not necessarily bad to do that on occasion. I believe that special occasions are made for that, and that's one of the things that make those special occasions special. So that can be a good thing. But sometimes we can overdo that a little bit. We can keep going, and we start out eating because everyone's kind of doing it, and then maybe an addiction gets triggered or something along those lines, and it kind of turns into something a little bit more, or we do it for too long, or everyone's eating this and then they're eating that, and now I feel obligated. I accidentally, or maybe didn't accidentally, but I let myself have a splurge the other day, and now everyone in the unit is eating all the cupcakes that are brought in from one of the patient's family that brought them in, or something along those lines. And now I want to join in, I want to be a part of that, but it's not fitting my needs necessarily, but I'll still do it because I want to fit those needs. So at that point, that's when you have to think about, okay, am I eating socially to fit in? Is that more important to me than my physiological goals or my safety goals of being healthier wherever I'm at? And you literally just have to look at it from that perspective. As long as you know what that trigger is, then you can look at it from a more logical perspective. And in that moment, it might be more important. Maybe you're brand new or something like that. And that could be, something that's really, really motivating in the moment. We think that is definitely more important for us. Or we can literally think of, okay, I maybe can't join in that way, but I'm only eating to fulfill that need. There's other ways that I can fulfill that need. Okay, so that's where this gets really cool, is once you recognize that I'm eating to be social and to join in, but I can be social and join in other ways. So maybe like last time I was in the unit, I was still joining in with everyone else. I decided that I was in a higher level of self and I didn't need the cupcake. I didn't want the cupcake. It wasn't anything else. If I joined in, it might have been a social aspect because everyone in the unit were talking about it. They're very fancy cupcakes. And I still talk about it. I was like, I bet they are really good. I love cupcakes, and I talk about it. But I didn't, whenever I went back to the break room, I didn't necessarily eat one. But I still joined in on the conversation. So I knew that doing that, there's other ways that I can meet that need. Okay, so does that make sense? Isn't that cool? So once you understand that, you take away from the impulsivity of eating, which is super cool. Esteem. So this can be good. This could also be bad. Confidence, achievement, respect of others, and respect by others. So it might be another fitting in, right? It may be that, making sure that everyone knows that I fit in or that I'm like them makes me feel better, and that builds my esteem. And this is the next part up on the triangle on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And that could be something that's really bad, right? Like there's other reasons why people, like how well I take care of patients or my knowledge base, those kind of things are really and truthfully what I should be basing it upon. So if I feel that even deeper pull to join in on something, then I really need to find out, okay, how can I meet this need that I know identifies is legitimate and it's not a bad need, but there's a healthier way to fulfill that need. As opposed to joining in with the cupcakes, right? Now, the other way that we could be eating for esteem is to make us feel better about ourselves and be happier, and eating for that purpose, meaning that we're eating our vegetables and we are omitting all the bad stuff and we're feeling better about ourselves as a person. Now that's where eating for esteem could be a really, self-esteem could be a really great thing. So knowing that could be an important thing for you also. Whenever you are going through, should I eat this? Should I not? Should I eat the healthy things? Should I not? Remembering that, really and truthfully, I'm going to feel so good about myself when I can feel my muscles coming in and I could feel strong and I'm not winded whenever my son wants to go play or whenever someone's just like randomly playing and I'm not the person winded, or everyone's going for a walk and I can't walk any further. I have to stop and sit. I'm eating for that higher version of myself, for that part of my esteem. I'm eating the healthy stuff. I'm omitting the other stuff because I want that. So if there's something, a part of you that you feel less than your higher version of self, your highest version of self, because of your health, your fitness at this time, remember that it is truthfully, it's almost the very top of the triangle, right? So it's super important. So making sure that we remember that that's a top priority for me. So breaking down because of, wanting to feel belonging or anything like that isn't probably as important as it is for my esteem. Okay. But remember that could still be a trigger in the bad way. So it's either good or it's bad. Some of these are a little bit tricky, right? But once we identify them, we can work through them. Okay, so the other thing, the very last part, is self-actualization. So this is morality, creativity, spontaneity, acceptance of self and of facts, and wanting to just be curious and know everything that we can, and just really truthfully engulf ourselves in something in truth, right? So that's self-actualization. And whenever we're eating, we're doing things like, hold on, I'm going to jump off the camera for just a second or get real close to it. We're eating because we know that we want to be cancer-free. So we're eating because we know that we want to decrease diabetes. We're eating because we know that the more, I don't want to say the CRAP word, but more junk we buy, the more we're feeding into the system, advertising that to our children. We're eating because we know that our children are going to watch what we do. We're eating those vegetables because I have to make my kiddo eat them. I'm going to lead by example. We're going to have fruits and vegetables in the house, and I'm going to eat them too, even though I maybe don't want to. I'm going to eat them too because my child needs to grow up knowing what vegetables taste like, knowing that they can like them. My child needs to grow up seeing me exercise, seeing me work out, seeing me be uncomfortable and still pushing through, because they need to know what that looks like. And when you're really and truthfully self-actualized, you're doing things for other people. Now, I want us to be careful because sometimes we can hide behind a facade if I'm doing it for somebody else. But, really and truly we're doing it for ourselves. Be honest with yourself. You're also doing it for yourself. Be real about that. There are more than one reasons why you're going to want to be healthy, and there should be tons of reasons. But whenever you hit that top pyramid and you are doing it for those reasons, that's what's going to sustain for life, as long as you dive down deep into that. And that's what's super cool. Whenever we are literally self-actualized in our food and we start looking at the day saying, instead of saying, what do I want to eat? We start saying, what does my body need? I've already had the carbs that I need. I've already had the vegetables that I need. I haven't had any fruit. That's what my snack will be. I haven't had any fruit. I'll have some of those high grade antioxidants, right? And those fibers. Or, when we're in the grocery store and we're thinking about, what does my family need? Not just necessarily want, maybe want and need, right? I know that they like this vegetable, so I'm going to get this one also. Doing those kind of things, and really and truthfully being able to to get completely engulfed in it is a really great way to do that. So whenever you become super curious about it, I knew nothing about things. Now I know that like blueberries, like one of my biggest motivating factors for eating fruits and vegetables had nothing to do with weight whenever I first started being healthy. It was because I knew the antioxidants in fruit would help decrease my risk for lung cancer, and I was terrified of it because I was a smoker. I also have always been afraid of Alzheimer's. It's just a horrible disease. Blueberries are super great. I think I teach that in some of the other modules. Super great for decreasing risk of Alzheimer's. So if you have a family history of it, you're very high risk for it. And that's a really great thing to help with your brain health. Same thing for like omega-3s, and that's great for your heart health, but also great for macular degeneration. So if you want to decrease your risk of that, like making sure you're getting in that fish at least twice a week, those kind of things. That's really and truly a self-actualization of being able to just dive in deep. And once you start becoming a nerd about this stuff, you literally want to, whenever you eat, you get a sense of feeling excited that I'm decreasing those, I'm increasing antioxidants, I'm decreasing cancer, I'm decreasing my risk of feeling horrible in the future, I'm decreasing the risk that God forbid I'm be taken from this world early, and I'm not be able to see, my child as long as I want to, or see them do the great things that I want to see them do. And that's really and truthfully just an amazing part of that. Whenever you get totally into nutrition, you don't need me for that anymore. You can literally just dive in deep, and the internet could be good or bad. I recommend, which even this book, I'll be honest, I found some errors in it that aren't 100%. So you still have to be careful. But, become a nerd and do it for other people and find a higher point of self. And you're definitely going to. That's why accountability groups and stuff like that work. So I hope that's helpful to y'all. I'm super excited about this. It's been a game changer for me. Really and truthfully, every time you want to eat something, why is it that I want to eat? Okay, so recap. First thing you do is you are going to recognize that you are stepping into a higher form of self. That is your goal. That's what you're excited about. That's where you're going to become. Just say it's going to happen. Put it into tuition. It's going to happen. The second part of that is, why do I want this? Because if you've gone through all of those and you're like, I don't really want to eat it for any of those reasons, I'm just freaking craving it. Well, the bad part about that is that the more you feed an addiction, the stronger it gets. The harder it's going to be to say no in the future. So remembering that and saying, you know what, I want to be stronger than this addiction. I don't want the addiction taking over me. Not today, right? Not today, devil. It's not today. I'm going to be stronger than this. So that's the other thing that doesn't really fit on Maslow's, but it is a real and true thing, is those cravings. And sometimes we have those cravings because we want to fulfill one of these aspects, but not in a correct way. On physiological, if you really feel like I've eaten everything that I can, but I'm still hungry, chug some water. Literally chug a bottle of water. If you still want that thing, or you're still hungry, even though you've had your full portions, then maybe you're still hungry, but I bet you'll be pretty surprised how much you're not that hungry after you chug all the water, because the same part of the brain that triggers for food is really close to the place that triggers for thirst. So that's why they say dehydration or hydration is so important. Make sure you avoid dehydration. So once you go through all of that, if there isn't a need there, then you're probably feeding into a craving, or something that isn't really a part of your higher self either way. So you've stepped into that higher form of self. You don't need that anymore, and you can let go of it. If it's hard, just know that there are so many others with you doing the same thing, and the longer you're able to do that, the better. Obviously, from other teachings that I'm not telling you to go on a strict diet and never to eat sugar again or anything like that. Obviously, optimally, if you do that, that's fantastic. I am super happy for you, but know yourself. If you're somebody that has gone off diet several times and went into, really eating a lot of them and just saying forget it all, don't do that. Find your balance, find your happy place where you're not really increasing your risk for disease, but maybe you're, allowing yourself to indulge a little bit. So I hope that's helpful, guys. It's been huge for me. I'm super excited for you, and I am really excited to hear what your thoughts are on this. So love all you. Mwah. Bye.